Hi, I'm Greg Aronowitz from Barnyard Effects, and this is What's in My Barn. Growing up, I loved 80s movies, and one of my favorite special effects artists was Rob Bottin. Rob is a special makeup effects artist that worked on Star Wars, Total Recall, The Fog, all kinds of great movies that came out when I was a kid. And I was always a fan of his work, and particularly a couple of these pieces that I want to show you, which I'm so honored to be able to have in my collection. This is the original clay maquette of Meg Mucklebones. Now, if you're not familiar with Meg, she is the swamp creature from Ridley Scott's Legend, which hands down is one of the greatest fantasy films ever made. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit or any of that stuff and you haven't seen Legend, see it, because it blows those away in terms of the depth and detail of the world. You really believe that you are somewhere else in this magical forest with unicorns and demons and elves and orcs. And this was the clay sculpture that Rob did to figure out what this creature, Meg Mucklebone, she's all like, figure out what she would look like. So this is a 30-year-old piece of clay that would sit around his studio for all this time, and then I acquired it sometime last year, and it's just, he's an amazing sculptor, an amazing designer, and it's just a great piece to look at and study and figure out his whole process. This is the original clay maquette that Rob did for The Fly. What's interesting about this piece is Rob Bottin didn't actually do the effects for The Fly, the one with Jeff Goldblum, not the 1950s one where the guy had like balloons on his eyes and was like pretending to be an insect. Chris Wallace of Gremlins fame ultimately did the creature effects for The Fly, but this was the sculpture that Rob did to pitch his ideas to the producers to try and get the job. If you're familiar with Brundlefly, you probably recognize that this looks very different, although there is kind of a striking resemblance to Jeff Goldblum. I've always been curious as to what The Fly would look like if Rob had ended up doing the final effects, but it couldn't always work out where every effects guy worked on every effects movie. A great example would be one of Rob Bottin's greatest works, The Thing. He had created so many of the elements that we remember, the head with the spider legs coming out and all the things, cracking open and being disgusting. But one of the first effects in the movie was actually done by Stan Winston. This is a storyboard of the dogs in the kennel as they start to transform, because they were the first ones to be exposed to the thing that made them the Thing. I have more pieces from The Thing, but we'll do a thing about the thing later. That's awkward. In the meantime, let me know in the comments below who your favorite visual effects or special effects or makeup effects artist is. Bonus points if you say me for any of those things. There it is again. And let me know if there's any other thing you want to see from another movie or television show, because I probably have some in my barn.